year, we're looking at 2 to 3 soybean plants in North Dakota, Minnesota. Also, we're seeing some proposals for canola crushing plants north of the border. We are a P&W shipper, so that's what we would prefer to keep on doing here. But obviously the market will change if these plants do come to fruition. We believe that we will be storing more soybeans and try to supply the plant over the course of the year. That's probably the biggest change for us. We're also not sure how the acreage plays out in North Dakota. If we put up 2 to 3 plants, that's a lot of acres that will be needed to fill the demand for soybeans into those plants.
This is our scale house, and so we've got an inbound scale and a probe, so when the trucks come in, they'll get probed. It'll take the sample up into this building here, where we'll grade it. So we have 2 grain dryers, and so we can dry about 10,000 bushels an hour. So these are our larger assets. So we have a 650,000 bushel bin, another 650, and then that one on the left is actually a 1,000,000 bushel. So one of 2 1,000,000 bushel bins in North Dakota.
We still expect to have strong volumes here. Margins will probably be a little bit more restricted if we're in a total processor market, similar to what we've seen in southern Minnesota and Iowa. When you look at local elevators like us in those areas, they dump a majority of their product at harvest. They usually service their accounts a little bit more intensively than a soybean crush plant or someone that's trying to move that kind of volume or purchase that kind of volume. A lot of nervousness during the growing season. It was very hot, obviously very dry. So we were watching this crop and there were points in the year where it did not look like it was going to be very productive. In this specific area, we were a lot better than expected once we got into the fields. Our volumes have been fairly strong. It turned out okay. It was not a bumper crop, but we were pleasantly surprised with how good the yields were once we got into it. Quality was good too. There's a little bit lower test weight on the beans. Also these last few trains that I've sent out have been a little bit higher in splits. Everything was really hot and dry during harvest as well. And because of that, the grain was obviously very, very dry.
So up here we have, I think it's 12 bins of fertilizer. And so in the spring we'll have one guy inside constantly scooping fertilizer and filling the tower. So then this side we'll stage corn seed and chemical. It's heated storage, and so in North Dakota that's valuable. And so by the time spring hits, this will be just completely filled with corn seed for the most part. All of this corn seed is actually already sold. And so we'll have it here for the farmer, we'll store it, and then we'll run it through a treater, we'll put it in his seed tender, and then within that day it'll be planted in the ground.
Going into a growing season, we feel really good. Looking at our moisture index in the soil, it's very strong. It's about right where you'd want it to be. We had some fall rains that really helped to replenish that moisture. The snow cover is a little bit more than we would like to see at this point in the year too. We're at just under 40 inches in Fargo, a little bit more than we'd like to see, but that can change in a hurry in the spring, just depending on what kind of spring we have.